Good morning. You'll never guess what time it is. If you guess 6 in the morning, you're correct. But we're here at the playground. I kind of wish I brought my tripod because then I could set it up and sit down and have a proper chat with you. But we're going to be talking about the song, the song by J. Cole, No Role Models, and that sample he used where he's like, she don't want to be saved, don't save her, right? We're going to be talking about that and the fact that you can't save everyone. And honestly, most people don't even want to be saved, especially with this self-improvement thing. So self-improvement is something that you have to want to do, right? Me standing here telling you about self-improvement and you watching all the videos, that's what I used to do in the beginning, right? I used to watch a bunch of videos. I actually started up in the red pill space with with Steph is Cold, MJ Get Right, AMS, guys like that. So that is who I first started watching in order to get myself towards self-improvement. And I know that those guys don't really, I guess they do preach about self-improvement, but they don't teach you the things you should be doing. They kind of more or less talk about female nature and getting over a breakup or stuff like that, and basically to tell you they kind of open the door for me to self-improvement. And I didn't even know about Hamza, because I guess at that time he would have just been starting, I think, his channel, and I don't even know any of the other really big self-improvement YouTubers. First Man, I've never really watched any of his stuff. Who else is another one? Ice Cold JT. I don't remember watching any of his stuff either. I honestly got into the space from red pill, alpha male kind of videos. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that everybody could get into self-improvement their own type of way, right? I could get into it by consuming the red pill, and you could get into it by watching Hamza's videos where he's more positive about his delivery with getting you onto self-improvement. Or you could even stumble across self-improvement on your own, or it could be taught to you by your parents, stuff like that. But the general consensus is that you want to have to do it, right? Watching all these videos won't make you a better person and won't improve your life. Or just learning about meditation, journaling, working out. You could watch people do all that, which is cool. And I mean, sometimes I watch fitness YouTubers too, but watching somebody else do it, sure, it's entertaining, and that's why people are able to make a living off of that by showing other people their workouts and whatnot. But that's not going to do anything for you. And we have to take that principle. And if you're already on self-improvement right now, then you might know this, and you might understand that you had to accept the fact that you wanted to change your life, that you were unhappy with where you were at, and that you needed to make a change. And then with that comes the wanting and longing for helping out your friends, I'd hope. So this happened for me as well, back 2 years ago when I first started with cold showers and NoFap and stuff like that. And I was preaching all the benefits and stuff to my friends, trying to get them on game and working out, all of that. So I didn't really know the best way to go about trying to convince them to start self-improvement, because most people go their lives not really knowing about this kind of stuff. Most people just go into the gym. If they're doing a sport or something, they walk into the weight room because coach tells them to, and they don't really view it as a form of self-improvement. Or they'll take an ice bath because coach said they had to take an ice bath, and they won't view that as a way to increase their discipline. So you trying to tell people about these things right? Nobody likes to be convinced, or nobody likes to be forced to do anything. So if you're trying to get your friends to start up self-improvement and you're doing it in a way that kind of discards their own, personal feelings or opinions on the matter, then you're just not going to get very far. Because sure, they might join you at the gym a couple times, or they might do a couple cold showers, they might start journaling for a little bit, but it's not going to be because of their own will, if this makes any sense, what I'm trying to say. So in order to, save somebody, they have to want to be saved as well. So if you're talking to somebody who doesn't really understand what you're trying to talk about, or the concepts that you're trying to instill into them to improve their lives, while you might have good intentions, they might not want to change their life, and there's nothing wrong with that, because it is sad, because they're your friend and you want to see what's best for them, and it's sad that they don't see that they should be improving their lives, and that they have the power and the ability to change it if they're willing to. But I think that's just the key thing is, and this sounds kind of scummy in some sense, is oh, you have to convince them that it's their idea to want to do self-improvement, not your idea. And that's essentially what persuasion is, right? It's trying, when you're in sales and stuff like that, you're trying to make the buyer convince themselves that it's a good idea to buy whatever product it is. So if you're selling a car, you're not gonna sell the car by explaining how it benefits you as the salesman, right? You're not gonna say, oh, buy this car because I'll get a 20% cut from it, I'll get a promotion next week, etc., etc. That's not gonna, explaining the benefits for you isn't going to help the person that's considering buying want to buy it, right? Instead, the way you sell them the car is you explain how it's going to improve their lives. You say, oh, this SUV has 3 rows of seats, so you could fit your whole family. You have a big family? Well, guess what? This is the car for you. It gets good gas mileage, so you won't have to be paying extreme prices in this inflationary era. And, all of the benefits for the customer, that's how you persuade them to buy. And that's a similar way of how, and then they also have to want to, they also have to want to buy the car as well. So you're not going to convince somebody to buy a car that has, $2 to their name and maybe just got out of preschool. They're not going to be wanting to buy a car, or maybe they want to buy a car, but that's not the person that can buy the car, right? The person that can buy the car and that wants to buy a car is someone who maybe they just, got their first job, they got their bonus check, and they have some money to put on a down payment for a car. So, you also have to factor in how willing the person is and how receptive they are to the ideas. You can change somebody's mind, but it is an uphill battle, I will say. Because, you could tell them, like I said before, you could tell them to do all the good habits, but if they don't know necessarily what it's for, or they don't have a clear idea, then it's kind of a lost cause, right? Because they might do those things for a little while, but once you're gone or whatever, they're just going to stop because it was never for them in the first place, if this makes sense. And I know I'll keep repeating the same things, that we have good intentions for our friends because we want to see them succeed as well, because we've seen success with self-improvement. But that's why a sense of a purpose is so stressed in the self-improvement space, right? Purpose, you hear that word all the time. You're like, oh, focus on your purpose, get back to your purpose. You got heartbroken, get on your purpose, stuff like that. So this is like, it's one of the core foundational principles of self-improvement, because why else, what's the purpose of, working out, of trying to make more money, of trying to improve your mental health, if it's not for some goal, right? And maybe that seems like shallow or something. I don't think having a purpose is shallow at all. But, people might be like, oh, why don't you just do it just because? Do it for yourself. That doesn't really make sense unless your purpose is to improve yourself, right? You have to have a strong why. And because remember, let's think about this. If nobody wants to be forced to do anything or to follow any leader, right? So authority by force, that's one of the worst things ever, right? Like a dictatorship. Those dictatorships eventually fall and they fall pretty hard because those people never wanted to be controlled in the first place. But if you have a group of people who are willing to, come together for a particular cause, and we could take the formation of America and the United States, for example, at the very beginning, when they all banded together to rebel against the tyranny of the British government. So that's a much more powerful why of, hey, we all want to come together. We want to be a free country from this rule. I guess it is just the dictator and then the people under the dictatorship, and they all come together under some common form of a leader. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is the purpose. And maybe I'm not explaining the purpose too well. Maybe I could make another video about that. But you have to have a why behind why you have to have a why behind why you want to get into self-improvement. And these people that you're trying to help, if you're just trying to reach out an arm and extend an arm of help for them, if you're not helping them find their purpose or their why, then you're gonna fail. So I think one of the best ways to approach this is to figure out what they want in life, and figure out a way of how to get there, and incorporate some of the good habits that can get them to their end goal. So it's more focused on them, because if you're just doing it because of a selfish reason, which it's a selfish reason, but it's you can say it's altruistic or whatever, because you're trying to help somebody else and improve their own lives. So I see both sides of the coin, but it is kind of selfish in the sense that you just want your friends to be of higher quality, right? And that's why you want them to partake and participate in self-improvement, whereas you're completely neglecting the idea that they might have other aspirations in life, and you just have to take those into consideration. That's all I kind of have to say. So you can't save them unless they actually want to be saved as well. And the fact of the matter is, not everybody wants to, recognize that their life is shit and that they have to do something to change that. And that's fine, because while it is sad that you won't be able to help them out and try to show them the path to a better life, I mean, that's kind of on them. That has nothing to do with you. That's you. If you've tried, then that's all you kind of can do at that point. And if they don't want to be saved, then you can't save them. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you found this information helpful. Sorry if it was more of a rant as well, but yeah, just some food for thought. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.